Mhm.
Ooh. Hello, everyone. We were just chatting before we went live. I am here today with Kelly Fridline. She is the creator of Virtual Design Mentor and one of our group sponsors. So thanks for being here, Kelly.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me and for this opportunity.
We've gone live a couple of times over the last 5 years, right?
Yep, and my first one was quite interesting. I remember it. So,
I'm glad you remember it. I don't remember it. Okay, so everyone do me a favor and click the link. I think it's above us where it says if you want to comment and interact with this video, give BeLive permission so that we can actually see your names when you're commenting. So say hi to us. I know this is going to be a popular one because there's been so much talk in my group, the Interior Design Business Forum, about what programs people should use in order to enhance their presentations, right? So we have a lot to talk about today, and we don't want to confuse anyone. So we're going to try to go step by step through all that Kelly's business, the Virtual Design Mentor, has to offer. So you ready, Kelly?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So let's start out by saying, I want all the designers to make a presentation to their clients that is fabulous, because that's what helps them sell product. And if they're selling product profitably, which is something I help train people on, they can make a lot of money by just enhancing their presentations. So talk to me about that.
Right. So that's something that I've been doing for years at this point. It's what I did when I worked at other firms. And so I've really built that niche into it. And then obviously with your assistance as my coach, I've niched down even more. But for the Virtual Design Mentor, we specifically have put things in place to help designers and virtual design assistants, so those who are assisting them or looking to work with interior designers, putting the resources in place for them to learn how to either do the presentation themselves or train the virtual design assistant to provide very professional presentations using various softwares.
Okay, so let's talk about the software. So, all right, so I know people are saying hi to us. Hello, hello. I just want to point out, if you don't press the give BeLive the permission for me to see your name when I bring you up on the screen, this is what I see, so I don't know who's talking to us. So try to go and click the link to give BeLive permission to see your name, because that would help me. I don't have to go back and forth to Facebook. So, all right, Kelly. So there are so many softwares that people can use, right? There's SketchUp and there's Photoshop and there's, I mean, when I tell you all the designers, some of them still do manual that I work with as my coaching clients. And I'm like, okay, that's fabulous. You have that knack for that. But we might need to bring it forward into this. So tell me about the different programs that exist and then which ones you actually recommend and train people on.
Sure. Of course, it's like the dogs and everything have to start
Always.
now. Joys of working from home. Okay, so the softwares that I train in are for Virtual Design Mentor, and I have various other mentors on the site as well. But specifically, I provide training in Chief Architect and Home Designer. I've been working in the software for over 5 years, almost 6 years now, and I have also provided hundreds, and I mean probably close to 400 hours of one-on-one training with interior designers. And I've also put together courses. So that is probably the first step for where Virtual Design Mentor started. And then I have had the opportunity to bring other virtual design assistants and rendering artists and experts in to also train in SketchUp, Photoshop, and we have an advanced 3D modeler who can teach you beyond just the SketchUp basics. She can go in depth for using Blender, and then now we have just brought in somebody to train in Dubsado.
Okay, so if someone's doing their renderings and presenting to their clients, there are probably 20 programs that I've heard of ways they can do their renderings, either 2D or 3D. Some people still do an old school, the design board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So which would be your top pick? If you were like the creme de la creme, because you're an architecturally trained interior designer also. So your knowledge of the space and how to present it properly to the client is more than most designers. Which is the program that you would say, this is the one I would recommend as top, and this would be a starting point?
It honestly depends on what your end deliverables are. So if you're doing construction drawings, I 100% obviously am going to pitch Chief Architect or Home Designer Pro, because that's what I train in and that's what I have been introduced to. That being said, I had also learned AutoCAD and Revit. So I am very good at transitioning designers who are very AutoCAD savvy into Chief Architect, because one of the things that I've specifically found is they want it to be AutoCAD and it's not. So the mindset is you have to break it. And trust me, I've been there. I remember my first job out of school. I was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. And I like redid their entire desktop. I look back now, I'm like, I was such a jerk. But anyways, but however, when it comes to mood boards and concept boards, I have a little different take. I think that if you have figured out a process and it looks very professional, that's great. If you're still figuring it out and you're not quite sure, or you're not efficient enough, then that's where it's great to look at Photoshop or Canva, or, if you're looking to go even more advanced, I'm 100% about InDesign. For mood boards and concept boards, these are not construction drawings, though. These are not things that anyone should be building off of. These are purely conceptual and rather abstract. When it comes to renderings, there is so much available now. It is a very different climate for anyone who's doing something that I do, which is virtual design assistance and rendering, than it was 3 years ago when I started. And I remember being on the Ivy board and it was myself and like 2 other people. And now everyone can do renderings, especially since eDesign Tribe and KuHome and all these cloud-based softwares that aren't dependent upon hardware. They're a lot easier for designers to learn. That being said, those specific platforms are not necessarily great for single base, in the sense of you don't have to, you're going to have to build it if you're building it in Chief Architect or SketchUp, and then you have to convert it, and then you have to bring it in, and it's multiple stages. So it really depends on your efficiency, how much time you want to spend in it, and then what your computer looks like. So there's a lot of factors when it comes to what rendering software you use.
So if someone's an interior designer and they're listening and they're saying that to themselves, for years, I know that I want to present more professionally because it'll make me feel better about what I'm presenting. I'm going to add to that. You will sell more product if your presentation is more professional. And maybe it's because you want to grow to the next level and charge more money so if they call you and get on your calendar for a consult and talk to you about their business, you would be able to say to them, I think you're best to start out learning this to enhance what you already know. And then eventually, if you need more, we go to these other softwares and we add to your knowledge.
Exactly. I offer a discovery call for designers to be able to sign up with me, and I will have a 15-minute discussion with them. And we'll talk about their business, their end goals, what they want to learn, their investment capabilities currently and in the future. And then I will make some recommendations during that call as to where to go. If it comes down to computer specs, anything like that, I can send them in specific directions. For me, I think that the technical side of things when it comes to computers is so mind-boggling to most interior designers.
Oh my God, yes. To most people in general.
And I'm still learning it. And most of what I've learned is because I've made an investment that I look back after spending an insane amount of money being like, oh, I'm good with that for a year. Now it's outdated and I can't put anything on it. And my biggest goal is to keep that from happening. And I've had way too many clients that have invested, or they've gone in and they've told a tech guy at some computer place saying, this is what I need. And it turns out that they tell them, oh, no, this is what you need. And they spend a few $1,000s and it's not it doesn't meet the specs. So,
oh my God, this is such a thing. And again, in the group, probably every week I see, you know, I'm going to be buying a new computer. Which one should I buy? And people are making recommendations. And all I'm thinking is, you haven't asked them what they're using it for, or how extensive their renderings get, or they, you know, what is the level of their business? Do they have architectural drawings? Do they have these heavy video, you know, needs? So yes, I see that all the time. So you'll be able to advise them on the tech they need in order to make their presentations the way they would like them to be as they grow their business. Okay.
Yeah, and my goal is so that I'm not sending you in the direction of a computer or something that is, you know, what you need right now. It's, hey, what are your end goals? Because ideally you want a computer to last 3 to 5 years. Granted, unless you're getting something custom made that you can keep pulling in and out and putting new pieces in, you know, if you're doing some heavy work, you can expect, like, you're probably going to buy a new computer in 3 years.
Right. Yeah, I had heard years ago that it was for every 1,000 you spend in a computer, it lasts 1 year. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true. It depends on what you use your computer for. So you'd be able to tell them, this is what you envision your business to be like, how your presentations should be, this is what you'll need, and these are the programs you need to learn. And then you would be able to say, we have a course or a training module or a mentor that you can train with through your company.
And if we don't have somebody, I'm all about sharing the love, because for me, my goal is to help people. And if I can't help you, I'm going to send you to somebody who can help you.
And that's me too, right? We're like the hubs. Our goal is just to make sure you are presenting your business the way you want and you're making money doing it and that you're proud of it, right? And you have all the knowledge. Okay, so interior designers can come to you to be trained on how to make fabulous presentations, among other things. We'll get to other things as well. But also, what I love that you're doing is you're creating this pool of virtual design mentors, which could be a designer who has a side gig just to supplement while they're growing their business, helping other designers with 3D renderings and renderings of all kinds. You're training this team, this crew of people they can access. I'm not saying it well. You say it.
Yeah, so that's where the term mentor came in. I'm not using the word coach because I am a designer who has figured out what has worked for me, and I am mentoring others who are looking to or aspiring to do what I do. So what I have found that works really, really well is we call it the networking group. So they're group coaching, where that's more or less at this point where the training is when it comes to training virtual design assistants. And it's so that you can meet other people that are doing the same thing as you. Because since the virtual design assistants kind of corner is still pretty new, it still feels very cutthroat. So in these, it feels like, oh, I can't share this with somebody, or you have one designer that jumps on a board and says, I need renderings. And now you have 50 people that comment and they're all trying to compete with each other.
Yeah.
When in fact, everyone has a different style. They can take on different projects. They are using different software. And many cases, a lot of times designers might have a specific software in mind that they want their renderings done in. Or projects worked in, or anything along those lines. So, from my experience getting to know other people what they do, it only elevated my business by having my own support group.
Right. Well, that's like having the Monday morning meetings that I have for all my one-on-ones.
Exactly.
Right? This mastermind collaboration component. So when you're training someone to be a virtual design assistant or mentor, well, I said it wrong. You're training also, besides training designers to enhance their own business, you are training people to be a virtual design assistant to other designers.
Yep. So I help them figure out how to get clients. I help them learn what softwares, how to onboard people, all those different aspects. And also by having it as a group, you have other designers that are maybe doing something slightly different than I did that worked for it, that you can hear their experiences. And this was actually, a lot of it was inspired by your group, Nancy, because I've learned so much just hearing from other designers, but I've also found that some of the best support you can get is from your colleagues. And if you've got a group of powerful virtual assistants or other people that are doing what you're doing that are willing to throw your name out there, that's going to just elevate your business much faster.
Definitely. Yeah. Because we all grow together, right? So I love the fact that, my clients, my groups, my membership site people always say, okay, I've now, in working with me, have gone to a level where, oh my God, now I need an assistant. What do I do? Right? Okay. Yep. What do you need an assistant for is what we first figure out. What do you not like to do? What do you not do well? What are you ready to give up? And when they're ready to give up their renderings, they can come to you and say, who do you have that would be a good fit for my business?
Exactly. And that's something that we'll probably discuss next month, but we are working on something very, very specific to help designers connect with colleagues that are specifically set up to work with them.
Okay. All right. So I want to share your website with people and go over it a little bit, because there is so much here, and we are going to do a series of videos so everyone can get very familiar with Virtual Design Mentor and everything that Kelly's organization offers. Yes, I trained Kelly to be what she is by way of a business structure, only because you are so knowledgeable about so many areas that designers need to keep learning. It's continuous learning.
It is. And it is for me too. So that's what, when I'm training designers in Chief Architect, they get so frustrated. They're like, I can't believe I can't pick this up. I'm like, first of all, they come out with a new version every year. So you have to, you'll get something established and then something will have changed. But I just did I think my course for Chief Architect is almost 35 hours. And just recording it, I learned stuff about the software, because I'm like, oh, there that is. You're always going to learn. There's always going to be things that just kind of click too as you're doing things. It's that I remember in architecture school, I had a professor that said, you better love what you do because you're going to eat, sleep, and breathe it. And it is. For those who are designers and are super passionate, you may disconnect from your computer or walk out of your office door, but that doesn't mean that you might not be at a restaurant or lying in bed and something clicks in the middle of the night and you have to wake up and remember it.
Yeah, pretty much always that happens. Yeah. All right, everyone who's watching, please ask questions if you have questions about what softwares you should be using for your presentations, any services that Kelly's organization may provide. As we continue, I am watching the chat. And Cece, I see you said, I see no link. I just went in and checked. And if you open up the description of this conversation, at the end it has this Be Live link. So, but I can see your name, Cece. So you've already clicked the link in the past, so you're fine. All right. So let me try to share your website. We're going to bounce around. Oh, look, I replaced myself. Can you still hear me? Oh, there we are. Okay. I'm trying to put it in a place that makes sense. Okay. So Virtual Design Mentor. On this page, we talk about how it is the designers behind the design industry. Okay, so talk to us about this.
So this is for our main focus for the Virtual Design Mentor is for those who are providing designer to designer services. But because of that, we're also providing training, which can help interior designers. So the idea is we train interior designers, but we train, mentor, and assist virtual design assistants, rendering artists, and virtual assistants. We're not an agency, so we do not, it's not in the sense of we're making money from, we're not invoicing for work with virtual design assistants. We are purely here to get them set up and help you navigate to finding the right one for you, and helping the virtual design assistant know that they aren't alone and they can learn from fellow colleagues.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to go right to this Learn tab because I combed all over your website before. It's a little slow. Okay. So you do one-on-one training for chief architect, home designer, SketchUp, 3D modeling, and Photoshop.
Yes.
So again, they're going to come to you and go, well, which one?
Right. So that really depends on what they're looking for. So I do offer a discovery call. So if they are that curious, they can reach out. They can also email me if they really need to. I think one of the biggest questions I get isn't necessarily about the latter software. It's more about chief architect and home designer, because that is far more specific as to what projects that they need or they're taking on. But when it comes to SketchUp, the designers that I have that are training in that, which I will say their names is Teresa Grisham and Sonia Capasso. They're insanely talented, and they can do anything from floor plans to 3D modeling, in the sense of like the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to what software is correct, again, just reach out to me. I don't have a problem with it. I'd rather help you get set up, but I do have a discovery call that would be best because we can go a little bit more in depth to your actual company.
Okay. And adverse to what I normally say is don't have your prices on your website if your pipeline's not full. I like the fact that you have your prices right here on the website because this is skill training.
Right.
And I think it's important for them to know, okay, I'm going to invest in the last 5 months of 2021, I'm going to learn SketchUp in order for me to feel more confident in my presentations. And right here, they can tell, well, how much is it going to cost them? How many sessions? And you have a really nice Q&A section. So love that. So this is training. If you are feeling insecure about your presentation skills, you should do some training. And I even say, don't just outsource, right? So some designers come to me and yes, they're already at the level where they have to just outsource. Like they don't have the time to train anymore. But if you're not yet at that level and before you outsource,
right,
in the future, it's really good to learn some of these programs yourselves, guys. Like every program we use in my company, I at least know that global level enough that if I need to jump in and help someone figure something out or understand a problem we're having or how to direct them more to do it in the way I want them to do it, I need to know a little bit about the program.
Well, exactly. And the other thing that's really nice is that I'll have designers who are just like, I need to learn the software, but I want your help because I say for one-on-one training, that's great for very project specific questions. So if you want a general overview of something, then specific for chief architect and home designer. Now I do have some SketchUp courses as well, but if you want a general overview and more of an in-depth learning, then the courses are a lot better for that. And then one-on-one is great for something very project specific. And there is an opportunity for whoever the trainee is to record it and save it onto their computer so they can watch it later.
Nice. Okay. So one-on-one training, we went through that. Now we're talking about the courses. So we have chief architect, home designer, and SketchUp. Again, if you want to just pace it your own, in your own way, because I know designers are really busy right now and sometimes they need nighttime and weekends. Mm-hmm. So you have a course here that they can go through whenever they have the opportunity.
Exactly. Yep. And it's specifically tailored to interior designers. So this is not watching a bunch of websites or pre-recorded videos that are so general that you're waiting for like a 5-second clip to it. This is somebody who is trained in architecture but has worked with interior designers for 5 years and what she has learned over hundreds of training hours.
Right. So direct to the point, no fluff.
No fluff.
I hate fluff.
At least I try not to fluff. There's some points where you get like to a certain point in the video and I'm like, and I'm not restarting. So
exactly. Totally get it. Okay. So one-on-one training courses. We talked a little bit about mentoring, but let's just jump in there quickly again. If you are a designer looking to serve other designers, if you're a designer who's helping with project management and process assistance from other designers, and then This is what we were talking about before. What you see what I mean? So and we're going to leave that aside for now, but this is another service you provide where you have somebody on your team who's an excellent copywriter. Okay. So there's so much here. When people want to learn about how to walk through their process, you've got all this stuff going on for them to just go, you know what? Skill training, skill training, skill training. I love this. Okay. Virtual networking groups. Talk to me about this.
So the first one is for virtual designers. So it's, again, a networking group. So you're meeting other designers who are doing what you do so that you just know people. And if you have a project that doesn't, or someone's reached out and it's not quite your style or whatnot, you have somebody that you can send it to. And I know that sounds crazy, but some of the best work I've received has been from other people who do what I do, who's just like, the software's not right, or I'm too busy, or,
the best thing you can do for people is refer them to someone who can actually help them specifically. Like if someone comes to me and it's not my superpower, I'm going to pass them off to you, or I'm going to pass them off to Wendy, or I'm going to pass them off to someone who it is their superpower, right? Because that's the beauty of what we do. We're just here to, yes, we're making a living, not going to deny that, but we're also just here to help people find what they need to do to get their businesses up to the next level.
Exactly. So they're just networking groups. So in the sense of, it also has mentoring. So it's very much similar, like I said, to your Monday mornings, where I go through and I ask everyone how their day is going, if they have any questions, if they have any projects in the wheelhouse. And then they have the opportunity to discuss and help other people, but they're getting to know one another. The other thing I found is by doing this, it helps a lot of, very specifically with the virtual realm, a lot of people who are doing it are because they don't like being in the limelight. They like being behind the scenes. So when it comes to being in front of the camera, they're very nervous and they're uncomfortable with it. So this is more of a private way of getting comfortable with, hey, I'm in front of a camera. And I have found that since I started this, almost every single one of the people who are doing this group with me are now doing public videos.
It's a great training ground. I love what you're saying about that. And you know what's popping into my head is years ago, and I don't know whether they're watching or not, or whether they'll watch our replay, but I won't give names. There was a designer who was just ramping up their business and going through a very difficult life situation. And it was going to take a little while. They were coaching with me. It was going to take a little while for me to be able to get them marketing enough and streamline their process to start making steady pipeline and steady sales. So in a financial crunch, I said, okay, what are your skills as a designer? What do you love to do? And what they loved to do was do presentations, like create the presentation. And this was 4 years ago, I think. And I said, okay, while we're ramping up your design business, why don't you put out that you can help other designers with their renderings and their presentations, their design boards? And she was like, really? Like, I can do that? I'm like, yeah. And you don't even have to do it permanently. It could be the filler income while you're training with me to ramp up your business. And that's what she did. And it carried her till when she started to have a full pipeline. And I watch her now. She doesn't even know I'm watching her probably. And I can't believe how busy she is. So the skills that people can learn through you can carry them through the gaps in their own business as well, if they want to work for other people here and there.
And colleagues. So that's the other thing, is that those in the group, they're all specialized in something specific. And that's what's cool about the virtual design assistant group, is because everyone is a like a designer to designer provider, but their specialty might be different. So I've had it where the designers who are in my VDA group, they have started working together and training together and learning from one another outside of the group.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So I don't want to go more than the half an hour. We're at the half an hour mark. Here's the bottom line. Go visit yourself, virtualdesignmentor.com, and see everything that Kelly's company has to offer when it comes to your specific skill, when you're enhancing your interior design skills, or whether you want to become a virtual designer to help other designers with their businesses, right? So whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, someone in between, an ambivert like me, right? There's something here for you to enhance your business and to get you to the next level. So I want everyone to go and check out Virtual Design Mentor and check out what Kelly has to offer. Did we miss anything big for our first presentation of your business?
I don't think so. I can say I am all about aiming towards what designers and virtual design assistants need. So if you do see something on the website and you have an idea of something that you think would be really handy, please reach out to us. I would love to be able to help everyone. That's not always possible, but if there's something specific to what we're niching into that you think that might be helpful, please let us know. We would really appreciate it.
I love every time I see you add, now you have Dubsado training. You have templates they can buy for chief architect to help them get that starter package, so it saves them time in creating their renderings. You have so much here. We're going to talk more next month about more that you have to offer, but everyone go check out virtualdesignmentor.com. You are one of our sponsors of our group. I totally appreciate that. This is getting to be a very large group to manage, so I appreciate all of our sponsors. And tag Kelly if you have a question about presentations or about software programs for running your virtual design business or your design business. And if you know the answer, you'll let them know.
Perfect. Yep, that's exactly what we need. Thanks for having me, Nancy.
Thanks for being here, Kelly, and I'll see you next month. So, all right, everyone, go have a great Thursday. I can't believe it's Thursday already. And I will see you in the group tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.